Join the HOA chaos. Like, subscribe, and remember, Karen is always watching. I moved into the complex about 6 months ago. Quiet neighborhood. Nice enough place. The only rule: dogs had to be under 30 pounds. Which wasn't a problem for me. My service dog, Max, is a 28-pound Labrador mix. Trained. Calm. Never barks. Max isn't just a pet. He's a medical alert dog. He helps me manage a neurological condition that causes sudden blackouts. Without him, I literally can't live alone safely. Everything was fine, until Karen noticed him. Karen ran the HOA like it was her personal kingdom. She spotted Max one morning while I was walking him near the mailboxes. She stopped in her tracks, stared at him, then at me. And she said, "Big dog for a renter. What's he doing here?" I calmly told her, "He's a service dog. I've already submitted the documents to the board." She smirked. You don't look disabled." I froze. I didn't know what to say. Then she added, "Rules are rules. And we don't allow dangerous animals here. I'll have to report this." She turned and walked away before I could reply. I figured maybe she was just being nosy. But 2 days later, I got a notice taped to my door. Violation, unauthorized animal on premises. Remove immediately or face daily fines. I was stunned. This wasn't just annoying. It was illegal. The Fair Housing Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act protect service animals, no matter the HOA's rules. And Karen knew he was a service dog. She just didn't like that I didn't look like I needed one. I emailed the board and explained everything. No response. Then I got another notice. So I sent them copies of Max's certification, vet papers, and a doctor's letter. Still nothing. But I kept getting threatened with fines. That's when I knew Karen wasn't going to stop. She didn't care about rules, just power. And I had 2 choices: move or fight back. So I chose the second one. Quietly, carefully, legally. And Karen never saw it coming. The next morning, I contacted the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. I explained everything. The threats, the refusal to acknowledge Max as a service dog, the harassment. The woman on the phone was calm, but direct. "That's a serious ADA violation. We'll help you file a complaint immediately." She walked me through the process. I uploaded all my documentation. Max's training certification. My doctor's medical letter. Copies of the violation notices. Screenshots of emails I'd sent to the HOA with no response. Within 3 days, HUD confirmed the complaint was under investigation. I still didn't say anything to Karen. I still walked Max every day like normal. But now I was documenting everything. Then, something unexpected happened. I came home one evening and found a warning notice slipped under my door. Same HOA letterhead, but this time it said, "Due to ongoing non-compliance, your lease may be subject to termination." Termination. For having a service dog? This wasn't just ignorance anymore. This was retaliation. So I sent that notice to HUD, too. Their investigator followed up within hours. "We're fast-tracking this," they said. And then things got serious. About a week later, 2 federal investigators showed up at the complex. They interviewed me first, then started requesting interviews with board members. Karen wasn't ready. She tried to brush them off at first. That was a mistake. They showed up again. This time with a written notice of non-compliance under the ADA. Karen finally agreed to talk. I don't know what she told them. But the day after that meeting, I got a hand-delivered letter from the HOA board. It read, "We apologize for the misunderstanding. You are in full compliance with all community rules. No fines will be issued. The board regrets any confusion." Confusion. Yeah, right. But that wasn't the end of it. Not for Karen. Because HUD doesn't just drop things after an apology. They'd seen a pattern of discrimination, not just against me, but others too. And the fallout. That was still coming. Karen thought she could get away with it. That I'd be too embarrassed, too quiet, too disabled to fight back. She was wrong. About 2 weeks after the HUD visit, a formal notice went out to the entire complex. Not just a newsletter, an official memo taped to every door. As a result of a federal investigation, our HOA is revising its animal policy and ADA compliance procedures. Any harassment or discrimination will result in immediate removal from the board. No names. But everyone knew. The next HOA meeting was packed. I didn't go. But my neighbor did. He told me Karen tried to defend herself. For all of 30 seconds. Then the HUD rep stood up and said, "There is documented retaliation against a person with a federally protected disability. That's a violation of the law." Karen went quiet. By the end of that meeting, she was voted out as HOA president. Removed from the board entirely. But it didn't stop there. HUD issued a fine to the HOA. Not just a warning. Thousands of dollars. And they had to go through mandatory ADA training. Karen. She was reported personally for harassment and unlawful interference. I later heard she had to hire a lawyer. And that several of her past HOA decisions were being reviewed for bias. Meanwhile, Max and I kept living our lives. Quiet walks. No more warnings. No more passive-aggressive notes. People started waving to me more. Neighbors I'd never spoken to told me they were glad I stood up to her. One even said, "She scared the rest of us into silence. You changed that." And honestly, that meant more than anything else. Karen thought I didn't look disabled. Thought that made it okay to treat me like I didn't matter. But sometimes the strongest response is staying calm, knowing your rights, and letting karma handle the rest.